Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Scratching Post. We scratched that gaming itch, and tonight it's the Comment Dense Podcast. Hello, everyone. I am joined by my normal cadre of friends in the form of none other than, if I switch it over. Hello, everyone. My name is Eback here. This is Scratch That Gaming Itch, and I'm joined, of course, by Doctor.
Evening.
By Lemming.
Yo!
And, of course, Shadow.
Hello!
Yes, we are short burr this week because, of course, it's Doctor's turn to be on the podcast. And today, we have topics to go through, but we are going to be blasting through them quickly because the main topic today, of course, as you can probably guess by the title of the taste stream, is E3. Burr, I see you there in the chat. Hello. Let us know also if you can make sure if you can hear everyone. It's very important that you can hear everyone talking. All right. So, let's crack on. How are we all doing?
All right, nice.
Doing good. Chilling.
Yeah, not too bad.
Oh, and
You broke, and it's broken immediately.
and it's broken immediately. Oh well.
Well, it wouldn't be a Tuesday night without something breaking.
He's got a point. He's got a very good point there.
He's got a very good point. He's got a very, very good point. Oh well, this just has to be out managers for this. I'll sort this out in the future. For some reason, my new PC is like, yeah, son. I know you really like to stream, but yeah, we're just not gonna do this. But it's fine. There'll be tiny black bars above us. There'll be slight overlap. Hi, Kay. Just technology. I hate it. No, I love it because I play games on technology. I love technology. I really do.
But not when it fucks up.
But not when it fucks up.
Yeah, it's that love-hate relationship. You love it when it all works, but you hate it when it doesn't.
To err is human.
To err is
really
human.
Foul things up needs computers.
I mean, computers are the stupidest thing on the planet. They think in zeros and ones. That's all they do.
Exactly.
I am literally I'm a cinematic video game because you can see the black bars.
Hey!
Hey! I'm coming out swinging.
This is as good as we're going to get, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I'll sort it out for the future soon. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Scratch Post. We Scratch Gaming Itch. My name is Eback, and here we discuss the Comment Dense podcast. We comment densely upon the subjects that have gone on over the last month, as well as current topics in gaming. Today's topics mostly going to be talking about E3, that big gaming event that happens kind of every year that we kind of all flock to. It's the mecca of games, as it were.
That EA is late too.
The EA is late too, and Sony. But of course, they both had to do their own special things, didn't they? Because they are special companies.
Very special, yes.
That sounds like it might be a whole podcast by itself.
Yeah. Well, let's
count the ways.
let's type in. Let's start off with kind of segueing into that.
Lemmy,
So
are you okay? You've turned slightly orange.
There's
I
nothing
don't
wrong
know
with turning
what's going
orange.
I think my room is melting.
oh my God, the Trump's got him.
Hang on, let me just reverse this and go all the way back up to here. There we go. Yep.
Sadly,
Even worse.
it's still light outside, so I can't use my special bulb to engage red alert. There we go.
Not yet.
Not yet. So let's.
And in the orange corner,
Also, chat. Yes, I do have a new chair now.
And I've got a new computer, as I mentioned. Which
Lots of new things.
we had. That was quite fun yesterday when we were trying to play Borderlands 3, because I believe at one point Scarf's like, have we all had new computers then? This or you got a new computer? You got a new computer? Weird, have you? Oh no, weird.
Rip.
Yeah, so weird.
Oh, weird.
No, Scarf was much more friendly than that. He just didn't ask who's got computers, and we are like, yeah, I've got a new computer. And we're just like, well, I need to get a new computer then, don't I? So
So do I.
it's on my wish list.
it certainly cost me a bomb, I'll say that. I could probably buy a bomb for the amount that I spent on it. I don't know. MI6, I do not know the cost of actually how to produce a bomb. So please.
Hilariously.
Although
Evax had a new computer, Lemmix had a new computer, now it's just me and Doctor left.
you get a new computer, everyone gets
I want a new computer. I love you, Andromeda, but
so let's start off with the news.
I've got times where I want to throw this out the window, so well, we're there.
So let's get on to the gaming news. Let's start off with a mentioning Sony, they are currently in the news. They're a bit in the hot seat recently because Sony's dislike of crossplay strikes yet again, as Borderlands 3, as we noted yesterday, was updated with crossplay support between Steam, Epic, and Xbox consoles. Sony absent from that list, you may notice, because they, for some reason, they just don't like crossplay. Now, of course, since the big old battle of the billionaire corporations slapping money at each other in the face in courts happened about a month ago, it's become evident that apparently Sony charge for having crossplay for their developers, which I'm like, it's not really consumer friendly there, Sony.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Let's put it this way: I had a PlayStation 3 day one. I had a PlayStation 3 when everyone was around me with Xbox 360s. It was not nice. It was a lonely 8 years of having no one to play with online. It's the reason I don't play games online generally, is because I've never been in that ecosystem. So please, for the love of all that is fucking holy, grow some sense and stop acting like a child. I know it's gonna crossplay isn't gonna convince people to buy your fucking console. You're not gonna stop people from buying your console if you got crossplay. It just means people with different consoles can play together. It's not difficult.
Yeah,
really isn't.
It proves the system works. If you take us as a squadrons group, for example,
Yeah, I'm quite surprised Squadron still allows crossplay, but then I think VR is its own thing because reasons. But yeah. No, I'm very pleased with how Squadrons is crossplay. Let's move on quickly to the next one. A Pokemon Legends Arceus release date announced. Quite kind of a stealth thing. I didn't notice this now. I was looking through the news earlier in the week. January 28th, 2022 release date. Not too far in the future. I didn't even realize it had been announced, if I'm honest. The game was announced, but I didn't realize the release date was revealed.
Yeah, the release date was actually just snuck by. A lot of people mentioned that in the tags, because I remember when it came up on my Twitter feed, and I was just like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know why they did that, but
yeah, you would have thought they'd be hyping it up. It's the next evolution in the Pokemon series as a game series. You would have thought they were like, yes, you can get your copy of Arceus on this date, but no.
I wonder if it's something to do with the Western Eastern audience divide, because I think a lot of people in the East are much more interested in the remakes than Arceus, but we'll have to see, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know genuinely.
Let's move on to something which has been the darling of a lot of art over the last month. There is a bit of controversy surrounding a DC superhero that occurred earlier in the month. Can anyone remember what Doctor probably doesn't remember, but Shadow.
I'm gonna say I don't follow DC, so it nullifies me on that point.
Yeah. I knew that. Shadow, do you want to illuminate the audience on this little tidbit?
Apparently, heroes are not supposed to go down on their lovers. Well, female lovers. Heroes are not supposed to go down on women, apparently.
More specifically, yeah. So first of all, if you are coming to the show not realizing it's for mature audiences, well, welcome. The splash screen should tell you that. Hey, Molligal. So yeah, apparently there was a scene removed from, was it Batman: The Long Halloween or something? Or
it was the Harley Quinn.
The Harley Quinn show, which, to be fair, it's a fairly racy show. It's a very modern kind of comedy, dark black kind of comedy style show. Very good show as well. High recommend. But they apparently cut a scene where Batman is given oral gratification to Catwoman, and apparently it was because heroes don't do that.
Yes, Mr. 75-year-old executive who hasn't touched another human being in 13 years.
I don't think it's that at all. I don't think it. Personally, this is just my own personal opinion. I have no evidence to back this up. I think it's DC trying to protect their kind of market share of the more, shall we say, right side of the equation. The kind that kind of feel like Yeah.
Well, from what I heard later, they came out with a secondary statement, which was basically like, well, he's a cartoon kind of character. We don't really want to do that kind of stuff, which for me implies that there's something like really dodgy about. Like, I could go on for quite some time about like why women's pleasure is seen like completely differently to a man's pleasure, but let's not go on to that. I mean,
They
I'm
had
not saying
they had a
I'm
gu-
not
they had a gun that gave someone cancer in that show as a joke.
exactly. I wasn't gonna like I wasn't defending them. I
No,
was
no, of
just
course
saying
not.
that this was the explanation they were coming
No,
up with, and
thing
I
is,
was just like, what the fuck?
that argument just falls flat when it's like you had a gun that gave someone cancer as a punchline joke. Funny joke as well, but very edgy. And it's like, so this is the line, which it's a very weird place to put your line, considering the amount of times you stepped over that line in other directions, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I was just sort of going, well, you've already got like all kinds of implications already with Batman. Like, what's
If it
this kind of thing?
if it was any other hero, like if it was a C-list hero, they would have done it. It's because it's Batman and it's kind of the A kind of DC's A-listers. They were they were too afraid.
Do you know the worst bit was? There was part of me thinking it's got to involve Batman somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not about selling toys, but it's more a case.
It's not.
That's the thing. It's sell toys. It's like we want to sell toys. This will hurt that. How kids aren't watching that show, and if they are, they shouldn't be. You know,
Exactly.
no, that's not. People cannot. I hate it. People come up with this like weird excuse like we want to sell toys. I mean, one thing which I didn't put in the list, but I will touch upon. It's a bit kind of not related, but it's kind of another thing with pop culture being modified a little bit.
Oh, really? That's literally what they said in the article. Holy shit.
Great, gets your Harley Quinn branded toys, everyone. I don't get that. That's so stupid. It's a completely separate argument. Kids don't watch that show, and I guess if they are, they shouldn't be.
And the people who will watch that show, as in people our age,
Will certainly buy a toy of that.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah.
Get your adult jokes here, folks.
The one thing I want to talk about tangentially, because I just was reminded of it. One thing which also came up very, very recently, the last couple of days, the name of Boba Fett's spaceships appears to have been censored by Disney.
Yes.
Oh, really?
The
Yeah.
Lego set that recently was announced no longer refers to it as Slave One. It's now referred to as Boba Fett's spaceship or starship. Starship. That's what it would be. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of people are losing their minds over this, saying, "Oh, it's censorship." I kind of see where they're coming from. Where Boba Fett, when he originally appeared in the show, he was in the films. He's a villain through and through.
Mhm.
He's now a character in The Mandalorian who appears alongside the main character as a supporting cast member,
Mhm.
as an anti-hero character. And you've got a ship. His ship is called the Slave One.
Yeah. Mm.
I know it's fantasy. I fully respect that. But it's a bit
Yeah, there's not really
not a nice way of saying it, of having it.
yeah,
there's
there's no real good reason either. It's like
Yeah, there's no, besides the fact that it's a ship for carrying. Yeah, it's a bit uncomfortable. Aside from carrying prisoners, which that itself probably makes it more
Cargo.
uncomfortable. Yeah,
cargo.
Yeah, it's
Well,
really.
why not just call it the fire spray? Because that's what it's otherwise known as.
Well, that's the thing. The Razor Crest is actually not the name of the ship. It's the name of the class of ship that it is. Razor Crest class. So the Razor Crest actually is never addressed as by a name in the ship. It's just his Razor Crest class. So they might go that route.
Wow.
But of course, Boba Fett's spaceship is a more recognizable name for like a toy kind of line. That's what they tend to do if they don't know the name of the toy.
Yes.
But also, to be quite frank, the name is never mentioned in the films, the TV shows. As far as I'm aware, it's I can't remember ever being a name in the Clone Wars.
Nope.
Never brought up in Mandalorian as a name, probably for good reason. And so it's not difficult for them to rebrand it if they want to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, couldn't they just retcon it?
They could. That will make a lot of people really angry, but they can just retcon it. I do think
FFG.
it's a product of its time. And people got to realize, yes, it's fantasy, but anytime someone hears the word slave, they themselves are going to be reminded about things. It is
And
uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Mm.
and also it's just an uncomfy name. It's an uncomfy name, and there's no real reason for it to be called that. I can't even
Yeah, not gonna deny that. It's
Don't get me wrong,
Slave One as a name for a ship.
there's
If
not.
he was like a full-on evil character, I could understand a ship called Slave One if he was a slaver and actually was a full-on evil character. Instead, Boba Fett has been raised throughout the series as a sort of neutral party.
At least
And
now
Yeah,
he has. He's now been
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
made more of a
More,
hero
more,
character.
more if
back
anything,
when he
chaotic neutral at the start.
Yeah, even back when he was the bad guy, in the original trilogy, he was more just in it for the money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was there because he was getting paid. That's all it was.
And Boba Fett's motto, used to be dead. Well, he's not out there to kill people. He's here to take people in to get the money or the bounty
Mhm.
that's on their heads.
He's a bounty hunter. He's a literal neutral character. He wasn't particularly
Exactly,
evil.
where you-
He was just there for the money.
Don't get me wrong.
So the idea of having the name Slave One doesn't really make much sense when you think about it in that context.
Yeah, we're getting too bit in the weeds. I want to move on.
Mhm.
I do want to
Yeah.
say something we can discuss at a later time or something. I do get that slavery is a topic in Star Wars. I deal with slavery as a topic in my RPG sessions, but usually it's made quite clear. Hey, look, these people are slavers. They're assholes. You know,
Right.
you know.
I mean, look at the slavers in Fallout.
Yeah.
It's like you immediately meet some slavers in one of the Fallout games. I think it was Fallout 3. And you immediately know that they're douchebags because they're putting explosive collars around people's necks and just basically being douchebags the moment you talk to them.
And I make it quite clear to my players up front. Look, my things will cover topics that might be uncomfortable. If that makes you uncomfortable, talk to me and we'll sort it out. I'm not a monster, It's important to have that kind of open relationship. In a film and TV show, it's kind of hard to do that, but slavery is part of Star Wars. You'll never separate from that. I think it's more a problem of the fact of we've got a character who's now become a hero, a marketable kind of character in terms of like a positive light. He's getting his own TV show. That itself is very big. You can't really have the main character of that show going around in a ship called Slave One. As cool as that ship is, and it is a cool ship. No.
Oh,
Undeniable.
the design of the ship is awesome.
Right, let's move on because we spent longer than we should have on this topic. But moving on to a sad story, which is Cyberpunk 2077. It just keeps on getting worse and worse for them.
This time it's not about the game.
No, apparently CD Projekt Red were unfortunately hacked. And the hacked data was circulating online. They were the victim of a ransomware attack, which, given that a lot of their people are currently working from home, makes sense that they're on more exposed computers. It's quite possible this is what happened. Which that's a security issue in itself, but they were subject to a ransomware attack, and their data was apparently sold online, including the source code for Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, and Gwent, apparently.
Mhm.
Sad.
I think it was all the Witchers, wasn't it? I know the third one was, but there might have been the second one as
The
well.
article which I'm referencing here, which is from The Verge, good place to get some gaming news, mentions just Cyberpunk 2077. It said including Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, and Gwent, so it might be more, but those are the three main ones, I think.
Yeah, they're just listing the big titles in the league.
Yeah.
Or hack in this case, sorry.
It is sad. I'm glad they didn't acquiesce to the hackers' demands because, let's face it, fuck you hackers.
Well, acquiesce to any demands like that, and it just makes them come back for more.
Yeah, it's
like,
sad.
We hacked into your system once, we can do it again, and we'll come back next week with more.
I will move on to the next part of that, which is a two-part story. Cyberpunk is now back on the PlayStation Store with an asterisk attached to it. Basically saying, hey, look, you could buy it on PS4, and we'll be working on stability upgrades, but it's not brilliant, effectively. Putting the onus on the consumer. To be fair, any consumer who's purchased the PlayStation 4 version would now know that it's not a very stable version of the game. Don't get it on PS4 or on Xbox One. Get it on next-gen consoles or PC.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, a lot of personal data from employees were in that data too, which is probably the saddest part of that. I mean, they apparently ransomed the source code. The source code being out there is also very dangerous for a company because it means someone can effectively replicate your game assets, which that's not
No good.
not good.
That's huge.
I mean, from preservation standpoint, it's fantastic because that means we'll never lose that game. But it was also done through an illegal act. Can't condone that.
Nope.
Shame. All right, let's move on. Next piece of news. So NetherRealm, pride of this little blunder. It is, of course, proud. Proud? We are proud
Right.
to be supporting Pride Month this week.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
If I had a little rainbow, if I had like a little flag, I'd have it here. But
Of course, it is probably one of the best months to be part of the LGBTQIA plus. Did I get that right?
yes.
Yes, community. And as such, I always worry I'm missing a letter in there somewhere.
That's why the plus is there. That's
Okay,
to
okay.
bundle in all the ones that you forget. That's how I think of it.
Fair enough. Because I tend to default to LGBT, and then I keep it as is it IQ? No, it's QIA. I always remember queer as the end part of that. But yeah, anyway, moving on
Fair
from my own problems with remembering acronyms.
That's only my job.
Pride Month, fantastic month. I've not been to a Pride event. I should go to a Pride event. I am
Yeah,
part.
I'm gonna try and go to a Pride event this year. Hopefully, either in like Birmingham, Coventry. But
However, NetherRealm aren't proud of this little achievement. So, unfortunately, they decided that they would celebrate Proud Month in a rather unique way. So I
in
was,
the most oof way
In-
possible.
yes,
In a very, very retrospectively dumb way.
Yeah,
bad,
if somebody had actually fucking thought for like 5 seconds, they would have gone, maybe not.
maybe not. Yeah. So, as Poison Ivy is a well-known character. That's part of the that community. She's shown to have a very. They've actually gone to the romantic relationship between her and Harley in the comics, which is great.
She's bisexual, isn't she?
Yeah, she's. To be fair, I don't think she has. I think I don't know. I don't know the full details of the character, but to me, she seems like someone who's just like it's life. She seems very not really caring.
Yeah, she's definitely queer. Let's
Yeah.
let's
Let's not dance around the bush. She's part of the pride. So Lemming, naturally, if you wanted to celebrate, someone like Poison Ivy, what would you do as a game designer?
Well, what I wouldn't do is what they did. The last thing I would do was go, right, it's Pride Month. Everyone's, celebrating. Let's have everyone who plays our game celebrate by beating up a famously LGBTQ plus
Oof.
character.
And that's exactly what they did.
Let's beat the shit out of Ivy. Let's beat the shit out of Ivy.
Now, there's a lot of things that can be made from this. Most of it all bad. Basically, the whole thing is you got points for or additional rewards if you engaged in more matches against Poison Ivy. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. You're basically saying beat up the queer character and we'll give you points. Now, I know that's not what their intention was, but that unfortunately is kind of weird.
Exactly how it looked.
That's how it looked. And I know they clearly were just ignorant in that fact. At least I hope they were.
To me, it looks like they were going, we need to do something for Pride Month. So they were just like, that character's like LGBT, let's do the thing. And then just didn't think anything of it.
Yeah,
let's put her in the spotlight.
It's very in line with how they do their other events. It usually is, beat up this character for a month or whatever it is. So it's consistent with that. They just didn't think of the implications upon what they were doing.
Yeah, what would have been a better idea would be
play as Ivy.
Play as Ivy, or just release pro LGBTQ skins for the game. I don't know if the game
or just
has skins.
just
it's
be
a
like,
mobile game. I'm assuming that's how it works.
Like, hey, here's some pride flags. Put them on your character or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be great. Not that.
That's what I was thinking, but definitely not that.
Pro Pride. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know why my brain was putting an L in there, but Pro Pride cosmetics.
Exactly. That's all you have to do.
What you don't do is what you did.
Let's beat up the queer one. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What was going through your mind?
Considering a lot of people are of trans people are getting. Well, I know they're different, but if a lot of trans people, like, there's heightened violence against them. So it's kind of
Yeah.
so you can imagine, like, the queer community is kind of on edge about people beating up
Yes.
other
Yeah, little sus.
other community. Yeah.
Now, it's very sad they did that. Completely deplorable. They were right to apologize. And to the people who were there, like, saying, "Oh, what? It's all a bit of fun." You wouldn't. Would you feel comfortable? I'm going to ask this question directly to Shadow and to the chat, because I'm pretty sure both of you are going to provide an answer which I think is accurate. Would you feel comfortable if in Black History Month they said, "Beat up Green Lantern John Stewart"?
No.
Why is
Absolutely fucking not.
exactly? And that's the problem, because and that's what annoys me the most, is that they probably would have obviously seen that as a taboo, but they didn't see it for this, and that itself is, I think, the problem. The gay community have got a lot. Not to saying that the Black community don't have their own problems to worry about as well. It's just that there are different problems for different groups. Like, I've never been involved in any kind of police related incident, so I don't know what that is. But there definitely is an aspect of a tiership of, like, well, we get
There is.
we get a lot of abuse thrown at us in terms of just physical abuse.
Yeah, they do. I know from experience, like, a group when I was at university, a group of friends, like a group of my uni friends who were Black. There was a sports car, like, parked out somewhere, and they were all gathered
Oh,
around it. And
of
what they
course.
they were saying, "Oh my god, this is really great. I'd love to have one like this." And I went into a building where you could see this going on from outside the window, and I was, like, filling a water bottle up, and there was a white guy in there talking to his friend on the phone, saying something like, "Oh, there's a group of Black kids out here. I bet they're talking about stealing the car," sort of thing. And I was just like, "What the
No,
fuck?
what the fuck?
They're in university. You really think they're gonna jeopardize their chances at, like
Yeah.
Very exciting.
that?"
It's
I
just
was just
it's just because when it comes to you would never condone that. But the thing is, I think people are more forefront to notice that, whereas they didn't notice the queer thing. And I think
mhm.
it's more Black issues are very much at the forefront. I think the LGBTQI communities are still a bit behind in terms of not being as seen as important. They're still important. Everything, and it's all important regardless. But yeah, I feel like someone would have seen something like that for that, and probably not. And if they didn't, then they're idiots.
That's also
That
important why it's more important for us to be
speak up,
visible,
to be
kind of
visible,
thing.
and to speak up about this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they wouldn't have got away with it. And to be fair, it's also in poor taste anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if the chat's wondering, like, I'm an out and out bisexual, so yeah.
I'm in a gay relationship, so
Yeah.
I've been on the scorning looks of many people just for being with my partner in public. I know what it's like. Okay, right. Let's move on to another bit of a controversial topic. Scott Cawthorne are going to cover this very quickly and not get too deep into the weeds, because this is one hell of a topic. The
Yeah.
Five Nights of Freddy, for those of you who don't know who he is, he's the creator of Five Nights of Freddy, was shown to have, provided donations to the Republican Party, and he's received backlash from aspects of different communities for that. I don't think. My own opinion is, I don't think it's. I can understand where people come from. Does he deserve to get the abuse he does get thrown at him? I don't know. It's a confusing issue. I don't have any ill will towards the guy, but he's retiring as a result of the backlash, and also because he's also got children now as well. I think most people are saying, "Oh, he's." There's a lot of arguments of, "Oh, is he leaving it just because of the kids, or is he doing it because of the backlash?" I do think it's a little bit of both, a little bit column A, a little bit column B. I just think it was the backlash that kind of shoved it over the line
Yeah.
for him.
For
Would
me, sorry, were you gonna
no,
say more?
please go ahead, Shadow.
Yeah, my view on it is, like, I don't like what he did. I think it's right for
Yes.
us to criticize his actions,
Oh no,
because
criticize what we like. Yeah.
it's like there's a lot of people who got into the furry community, which is a traditionally majority LGBT, like, community.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
to see that happening, they're right to criticize him and feel hurt because of it. But
Yes, of
at
course.
the same time, one, we shouldn't be doxing him. 2, we shouldn't be abusing him. Do not
Yes.
fucking do that. You can criticize
You
him.
can
but
criticize
do
him,
not,
yeah.
hurt him or his family or his wife and stuff like that. As for him leaving the games industry, I don't know. I think I can see why people think he's like piecing out and being a bit of a coward about it, but I don't know. I have no horse in this
Hey,
race.
I mean,
I have no
like,
interest in it either.
Yeah, I don't agree with what he did, but we can criticize him, but don't be a shitlord to the guy,
yeah,
please.
it's simple. Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
It's like you might not like what he did, and you can voice your opinions on this, but don't go after the guy because then you look like a dick.
Yeah,
And
you're
if he wants to pick up however much money he's gotten over the years from making his games and go home to his family to provide for them,
yeah,
fine for him.
that's fine with him.
Mm.
I personally have the opinion that you can't just say that just because someone supports something which has as a large thing, he supports that. I do understand that people would still be upset by that and want to criticize him. I do agree with that. I just don't think the abuse he's getting.
Oh no, the abuse is not on at all.
And I don't think it's fair people saying you shouldn't be doing this. It's be like, okay, I don't agree with you, but I can't really do much about it. That's my opinion. I don't really play the Five Nights at Freddy's series, so I've got no horse in this race either. But yeah, I just thought we'd touch on that and move on.
Yeah.
GTA Online is shutting down its online servers for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions of the game. You've served your countries well, but
End of
GTA.
the chat, folks.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, given that it was this 2 generations ago by now, I pretty
that's
much
fair.
understand.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have to cut support at some point, and I guess at least they've supported it for nearly 2 entire generations. Well, they have supported it for 2 generations.
Yeah, that's quite incredible, actually.
Yeah.
There's some respect there.
Yeah.
A teeny tiny amount.
A
Um,
modicum.
A modicum. I like that. Modicum. Into VR news, Facebook VR disaster. Yeah, see, it's not a PR disaster, it's a VR disaster. Yeah. It's yes,
It
basically,
wasn't me this time, Shadow. You can't blame me.
so VR games, Facebook have started this new thing with VR games on their Oculus devices that you can have what they're calling non-intrusive adverts in your games. So what they are is in the game that had tried to do that, Blaston, is in the arena where you fight, along the walls, along where you have banners and sponsors, and they're fake sponsors. However, they've enabled the idea that you can actually now have actual adverts on there. So they're not in your face, but they're there, so you can look at them and and click on that and then get a pop-up and look at more. And there was a severe amount of backlash towards this. Rightfully so, because the main crux of the argument, which I completely agree with, is Bastion's not free.
Ah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You have already paid.
You've already paid up front.
Oh.
Lemmy knows what I'm talking about. You've already paid up front for Bastion. Why am I seeing adverts?
Be ad driven.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
If you are a free to play game that needs to maintain a revenue stream from somewhere, fine. Add adverts.
It's not what
Unobtrusive ones. Fine.
we're still not going to like it, but we can at least understand why you'd have them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need a revenue stream.
Yeah, I was
That's
thinking
fine.
Sorry, I thought the argument was going to be like, well, if you start with this, you're going to keep moving. You're going to keep moving further and further and further and further along, and like, could we not?
No.
Eventually, it'll get just adding adverts to VR. Depending on the game, is an avenue that can be explored. But I can see with a company like Facebook, who has a history of oversharing and overstealing information from the people who use it, because that information's got to go and come from somewhere, and it's a revenue stream, and they make money off of us going, yes, I like this thing. But it's getting to being like that one scene in Ready Player One, if anybody knows the one I'm talking about, where they're going like, yes, we can put 95% of adverts on the player screen before they have a seizure. And that's the way this is going.
Yeah, I mean,
It wouldn't surprise me.
some of the people arguing for this has said that VR is very expensive as a experimental medium, and it's not really, and the part of the revenue that companies would earn from it is from that. But on the other hand, it's like
We already spent
We already
400 quid minimum on getting into it.
yeah, I agree. I completely agree, Burr. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I've bought the game. Yes, it's Facebook being Facebook. Yeah, I bought the game. I shouldn't see adverts. Quite clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've already made your money. Fuck off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like you put however much money you think you should into developing a game. It's on whether or not that game is any good as to whether or not you make your money back.
Although
throwing adverts into it is just going to make people go, I'm not buying this shit.
the hilarious part about this is that Resolution, the company that make Resolution Games that make Blaston, have now pulled out of that. So effectively, they'll no longer be showing ads in that. They'll say, if we do make it, it'll be a free game. Do you know what the hilarious part of that is, though, everyone? They were the only company that agreed to do this for Facebook.
Yeah, it was the only game. It was the only game that was part of this trial because every other VR game developer went, we ain't touching that. we know what our players are like. We ain't touching that shit. All of our players have seen Ready Player One, okay?
And I'm pretty certain after this, then Facebook are going, yeah, maybe this was a terrible idea.
No, they're not going to go, this is a terrible idea. They're going to go, they don't understand our idea. We'll do all the testing internally. Start developing games.
And then it will be like that scene in Player One. Player One.
And then nobody will buy the Facebook-produced VR games because they'll be full of adverts.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's something I thought was interesting to bring to. There is something I want to bring up, which is Marvel Avengers on PS5 exposes your IP address. Good luck, streamers. Whew, that was pretty tense for a couple of days while that wasn't fixed. Ouch.
Yay.
Yeah, just
I'll be honest. The player, I'd be amazed if anybody is actually streaming it, even if this wasn't a problem.
Zing. Ouch. Would you, Square Enix, if you want me to send you over some cream, I will gladly send that over at some point.
Yes, 999. I think I've witnessed a murder.
Windows 11 has been announced, and apparently it's got some great things for gaming, which I'm really excited for. Apparently, all Windows 10 people get it for free eventually, as long as your PC can support it. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. And auto.
That sounded like a dig, Shadow.
What?
That sounded like a dig.
No. Because
the two people who've got new computers and apps.
No, because even I'm like,
I have got Windows 10, so.
Well, I've got Windows 10. Yeah, I had Windows 10
before. I'm not saying that. I'm meaning in general.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the issue is apparently there's a chip that not a lot of only kind of really modern motherboards would have, that your new computer must have in order to run Windows 11. I think it's like which it's for a security purpose, which you've got to give it to them. They're at least taking security seriously.
Yeah.
That's something. But yeah.
Oh, is it the that thing that was wrong with the Intel chips for quite some time? I can't remember what it was called, but there was a big problem with the Intel chips that made them like a huge security risk.
I can't remember, but there's a great video on GameRanks that talks about the 10 best things coming to Windows 10 for gamers. So I'd recommend that. It's a great video. Go check it out. They do great videos over there. For more information regarding that news. Let's move on to the last two topics before we get to the main topic. The Steam Next Fest. I didn't really take part in that, but you certainly did, Shadow, and I'm not sure if you did, Lemming.
I filled my entire SSD with demos, and my SSD was like, "What the fuck are you doing, lady?" No, that was really
happy watching them.
Yeah, no, that was really good. Like, I always appreciate when games have demos, even if they're like free. Even if they're free or anything. If I was already going to get them anyway, like, it doesn't matter to me if I like play the demo and I like go, "Oh, this game isn't for me." Like, I always appreciate a game for like providing me this test before I get in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun as hell. I can't remember all the games I played, but I played a lot of them, and a lot of them ended up on my Steam wish list, like the Fermi Paradox, and I've got Terra Nil still on my wish list, but that might not stay there for very long, considering it was very mean to me.
So, for those of you that may not know, what was the next fest specifically?
It was basically a couple of days of where Steam was bringing all these new and upcoming games to the fore and was saying, here are all these demos of all these new and upcoming games, like play them for free, kind of thing, and just stuff like that. And it was really fun. It was like I downloaded like loads. Like I said, my SSD was full to the brim, and I was basically just playing through them on Discord, and people were dropping in, dropping out, and I didn't pick up any games like proper new, but I put a load on my wish list, like the Pedestrian that Burr sings the praises of. That was a really I will highly recommend the Pedestrian, because that's a really good puzzle game where basically you are like a little it's got a street sign aesthetic, and basically you have to move your character from like from one sign to the other sign with a door, and you've got to like rearrange the signs around there and link the little things
I've
up.
seen that. It looks very
It's
interesting. I really
it's
want to pick
really
it up,
good.
actually.
And it sounds really dumb, but like there's a bit at the start where you get to choose what character you are. You can either be like the male shape or the female shape, and I thought that's really cute. You didn't have to do that, but that's so cute.
And also really simple as well, given the
Yeah,
aesthetic. No, I
yeah.
really want to check that. I mean, what do you guys think in general of the next fest? I mean, Doctor, from what you hear about it, what is your opinion on it?
I think, yeah, as at least a premise, I think it's a very good sort of idea, because one of my things is it's different watching like a trailer, or say somebody doing like a crash course, say like 3 minute video on like a mini review of a game, but sometimes it's that trailer or that person who's doing that review doesn't sell it to you, and you immediately get turned away from something that you think this could be for me, and it's
I always
basically you go back to your learning streams, isn't it? Whether you're a visual, whether you take things in audio, or whether you literally want to get hands on into stuff. And I think games has to be one of those things you get sort of stuck in and literally get hands on.
I've always said that reviews mean nothing to me, because I play games and I agree with them, I disagree with them. I need to actually play the game. But the problem is, I play the game, I've already spent the money on it, and unfortunately,
Yes.
if it's crap, then I can't take it back. Although I very rarely find crap games. So
Yeah, that's why demos are so useful, because it
Yeah,
just gets you in just enough. And usually, like in a couple of minutes, like I know in a couple of minutes where I could stand this game or not, kind of thing. Because if I like it, I'll keep going until the very end of the demo. If I don't like it, I'm like, right, sorry, I'm out, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Lemming?
gameplay demonstrations have been a part of gaming for decades at this point. They've only they've only been taken out of mainstream gaming in the last few years, because basically the bigger companies haven't felt the need to put them out. What you will get from the bigger companies are betas, and you'll have people fighting over them. You'll have people fighting amongst themselves for access into the Halo the closed beta or open beta, or the Battlefield beta a week
The
before it comes out.
humankind beta at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much. Whereas the whole thing of, if it's in beta a week before release, that's not a beta.
That's not a
because
beta.
they can't change anything.
Yeah. Okay.
They're demos.
Yeah, in fairness, like humankind's had a very long beta cycle, but
Yeah.
even now, I'm really repulsed by that now, because pardon me for going all old woman here, but I remember when beta was actually a beta.
Actually, beta, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, back in my day when Warcraft Cataclysm was in beta, it was actually in beta.
Yeah.
One of my favorite games, Escape from Tarkov, is currently in beta. This beta has been going for years now, and they are constantly improving and taking player feedback. They even have a separate sign-up NDA group within the player base that has access to newer stuff on test servers for actual beta testing, where they report directly to the business, to the publisher, well, to the developers. That's beta.
That's beta.
That's what it should be. But because of this sweep over to check this beta a week before release, demos aren't really a thing anymore.
No.
And gameplay demos are amazing. I remember back
They
in the
are.
day,
Like
my
as
father
Spurs
used to
said, Joe.
collect PC format magazine, and on the front would have little floppy disks,
Oh God,
which would
yes.
then be CDs.
Yes.
And they were packed with demos. It's how I found Theme Hospital. Was a demo on one of these discs.
There used to be demo discs for the GameCube.
Yeah.
In like certain magazines.
Yeah, so all I can say is I bought Theme Hospital, one of my all-time favorite classic games, because of a demo disc in a magazine my dad bought. Therefore, if you, as a smaller developer, because frankly, the AAA publishers don't need demos.
No.
Fuck it, they don't need demos. They're going to get all their money anyway. People are going to buy their game regardless because of the millions of dollars of advertising they throw out every year. But if you're a smaller developer, throw out a small slice of your game. Put it on the Steam store as a demo. They actually have a demo button on the Steam store.
You sparked a memory in my head of years ago, a game which Burr was playing recently, Desperados 3, which I was actually gifted by a very good friend of mine, Thistle, yesterday. They're very, very kind of you for that, Thistle. Thank you once again. The original of that was released back in 1998. I remember getting that in a cereal box, a demo for that.
Oh, I used to remember those cereal box games.
Yeah, it was only 2 levels, but I played those 2 levels through and through. It wasn't until many, many, many years later I actually got the full game.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Lemming. Go on.
No, it's just I was just going to cap off my original statement of saying smaller developers, if you have the ability, put out a demo.
Yes. Yeah. No.
More often than not, I will play a demo and go, "This is really good. How much is the game?" And then if it's a decent price for the demo, I will more often than not buy it, even if I never play the game.
Yep.
I'll probably buy it.
Yeah. For me, like whenever I see a demo, you are automatically one up in my estimation, and also to me, it shows to me
Trust
that you are confident in your game to say, "Hey, play a little bit of this, and then you can buy it," kind of thing. Because you're confident enough that your game is good enough that it will attract the person you want, kind of thing, and that kudos, do that if you can, always.
The thing that always gripes me is when you see those trailers with a small caveat, not actual gameplay footage. It's like, well, what's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Don't try and wow me. Show me some actual stuff. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Like, if your game is a cinematic single player experience, then a cinematic trailer can work. Yeah, it can work as part of an advertising campaign, so long as there is also a gameplay trailer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't just try and sell us on, look at this flashy cinematics. Like, that's not going to be gameplay.
Well,
yeah, we're too old and too jaded for that now.
Moving on very quickly before we get to the main topic of the night, which is the E3. The Steam Summer Sale's happening. What mistakes have we? How mistakes that are not mistakes have we made so far?
I have made no mistakes, actually.
Oh, have you?
I'm proud of my game purchases.
I did say they're mistakes that are not really mistakes, but fair enough.
I say I'm proud, except for the one I bought recently, which is a NSFW game, so we're not going to talk about that one.
I think Doctor is the most kind of restrained out of all of us in this circumstance.
There is reasons behind that, but
yeah,
I love the whole thought of, like, when I saw what came up on my whole wish list that came through in the sale, I found a game in the same genre as one of the games that went on sale and bought that instead of the one that was on my wish list.
Oh no! Rip.
So it's still on my wish list.
Rip.
But no, it's been a good game. I've played like 15 hours in about 3 or so days.
Wow. Yeah, that's an endorsement right there.
That's neat.
In my yeah,
It's actually also in early access as well, so it's only going to get better from here. Slay the Spire was, and we know that's ended up.
hopefully.
Do we have any recommendations?
Yes. I have 2 recommendations specifically for you, Ebac.
For me, okay.
Yeah, because I'm aware that you should hopefully be getting VR soon.
Yes,
Half-Life Alyx.
of course.
Yep, which is currently £28, which is 40% off. Yeah, it's not a bad price for a full-length VR game. And the second one is Pavlov, because I've been raving about that game for months.
Well, I want to get those that grenades game you talked about, the one where you like test guns.
Oh yeah, hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
That was the one. Yes.
Yeah, the only difference between hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades and Pavlov is Pavlov has multiplayer.
True, but I don't play multiplayer games, do I?
Yeah, no, you don't. But that's the main difference.
That's fair.
Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades has more variety, more guns, more stuff to play with. So that in itself is also a recommendation.
I did pick up No Man's Sky myself, so that's I'll be playing that in VR, so that'll be fun. Do you have? Yes.
Oh no, sorry.
No. Do you have any recommendations, Shadow? That's what I was going to ask.
Yes, It Takes Two.
Ah.
Do it. It's good. I mean, it's winding me and Bert the hell up every now and again, but I would recommend it. I would seriously recommend like It Takes Two. It's a really good co-op game. If you can get it with, if you have a good buddy, play with them because it's split screen co-op and you can play online. And the best thing about it is because it's it's from the same people who did Brother: A Tale of Two Sons and A Way Out. And the thing with that is, so long as somebody has the full copy of the game, their friend just needs the trial version, and they can play like the whole story all the way through with the person with the full game.
I did hear about that.
That's neat.
Yeah, Hazelight Studios. Thank you, Bert. Which is how I'm managing to play through all of it with Bert, having not bought the game myself. But I'm probably going to pick the whole game up myself at the end of this because it's really good. It's like it's really good. It's like a puzzle. It's a puzzle platformer adventure game with other genres sort of smashed in as well. Because we had like a Diablo like dungeon crawl at some point. It was so fucking fun. It's just so varied and like the aesthetics are beautiful and varied and just it's really good. It's really good, honestly. But the thing is, I can't talk about it that much because
Spoilers.
if I do, I spoil like huge chunks of the plot and stuff like that. It's just like it has to seem to be believed. Honest.
Doctor, do you have any recommendations? I know that you may not have purchased much, but do you have anything which you see that in the Steam sale which you would recommend to people that you've played before?
I still have a bit of a. I haven't bought it, but it is something that I am thinking of getting because it's kind of one of those sort of like remakes or sort of. We're back to that one of the old first conversations that I had as part of this podcast group. The whole
remakes,
remakes and rejuvenations.
Episode 2, I believe, for our viewers.
There's a game called Parkitect, which is kind of Planet Coaster and Roller Coaster Tycoon bit combined, but not as physically demanding as Planet Coaster.
It's the isometric kind of look of yeah. I get that. I might actually check that out. I have had interest in Parkitect. I didn't realize it was on Steam. I might check that out.
Yeah, it's on Steam. I can't remember how much it's got off in terms of percentage, but like I said, I had like 12. I've got a small wish list, it turns out, compared to everyone else here, but I had all but one of them on sale, which made my wallet go, ooh. I've got things I need to store.
I weep for you and your small wish list. I weep tears for you.
The smallest violin is being played.
I picked up and will highly recommend a couple of things. The Star Wars collection is on sale for $36.89. What is that? That's Squadrons, Jedi Fallen Order Deluxe Edition, and the Battlefront 2, the Celebration Edition for $36.89. very great, good value for
I
anyone. Star Wars
suppose
player.
you'd also get a discount if you had, say, Squadrons in my case as well.
You probably would, but that is
It's
me.
like a complete collection kind
That's
of thing.
yeah, that's 38.39 with me not having any of them. So that's still really good.
So
I mean,
that's basically £13 a pop, which is still really good.
that's about 100. That's about 100 quid's worth of value in games right there for 38.689.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not bad at all. Just Cause 4 with all its DLC as well for £10.91. Again, high recommend. Although I will shout out for my comfort game, which people will say, "Oh, of course you're going to recommend this." The Arkham Knight Premium Edition game for $5.99 with all its DLC. I know, it's Arkham Knight on PC. I can see you hesitating, but it seems to. I've been playing it. It seems to they might have fixed all the bugs. It looks and plays amazingly. Yeah, I recommend.
And if I might make a non-VR suggestion,
go on.
Titanfall 2 is £5.
Done. I'm sold. I'll buy it after the stream.
Yeah, Titanfall 2 is £4.99. Brilliant sci-fi first-person shooter. Moving on from the first game in the series, which was a brilliant multiplayer first-person shooter, this one actually has a compelling single player.
Also,
you don't need to play the multiplayer. I didn't touch the multiplayer. For me, I might have done it for maybe 2 rounds, and then I went, "Nah, I'm done with that."
Yeah.
Single player is where it's at. It's compelling. It's got interesting techniques. What's the word I'm looking for? Technology. Interesting mechanisms. Interesting mechanics in the game. Yeah. There's one section of the game which dabbles in time travel, and it's amazing.
Yes, Dishonored does seem like that, and I think they're great games for that reason. Also, for reference, anyone who's watching, Parkitect, as Doctor mentioned, is on sale for 25% off. $17.84 is what it's available for, and it looks really good. I actually might pick that myself. Right, and Burr saying in the chat, Mario and Rabbids is on sale on Ubisoft Store for £7.50 for Switch. Don't know why you said Twitch. It's that typo. Fair enough.
I'm trying to figure out why Parkitect is on my ignored list. Let's take that off and put it on my wish list.
Right, let's dive in to the last kind of hour of the show where we talk about the main topic of the evening, which is
E3.
E3.
Well, even though it's not really E3, it's more like E and lots of others.
Yeah.
And no Sony and no EA because they can't be bothered.
Can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. Just want to get off this couch. So we as a group, or at least most of us, got together and watched some of these together. We didn't watch all of them because God knows there were a lot. Let's go through mainly what we saw and our feelings on each one.
We came, we saw, we occasionally we yelled a lot. We yelled a lot.
Now,
we came, we saw, we snarked.
Yes.
So let's start off with Ubisoft Forward, I guess.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, it wasn't that bad. It was just it was just kind of lame. Also, really, do not put after everything that's fucking happened. Do not put Yves out there. I can't be able to pronounce his name right. I'm not pronouncing the name of an abuser. Well, allegedly.
Abuser, but pretty much dead on.
He didn't abuse anybody, but his company allegedly shuffled around abusers instead of dealing with the problem.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he's running a company that has defended and hidden people who are scumbags.
Yeah, we have to say that because we can't let them off the hook. We really cannot.
No, we can't. And it's not right that people will say, "Oh, you're being unfair." No, we're being very fair.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't just hand wave it away. I thought it was a bit poor in taste that they even had him as part of the presentation, if I'm honest.
They should have just ignored it.
Because while it was just a reminder of what had happened, really.
Yes.
That's what you didn't want in the show that's supposed to promote your games.
Yeah, I mean, it was already going to be on top of the games anyway, but to put him there was basically like, hey guys, remember the thing that we did, the bad things that we've done?
So we've got some great, interesting games. More news regarding the new operator in Rainbow Siege, I believe, is one thing that was advertised. There's a new Rocksmith game coming out. Is that correct?
That's Doctor's Warehouse.
That's in my wheelhouse. Yes, it definitely is.
That's it. Not Warehouse.
I was
Wheelhouse.
Yeah. I was going to say potentially like bringing that up at some point because from what I understand, it's going to be a subscription service, but their article was about like that with about yay much detail in it in terms of
Yeah.
like what it's kind of all about, how much it's going to be, when it's coming out, or when it's planned to come out. Not even like I say, Q2 2022, for example. As far as I could see, this was several weeks ago. I looked at the article. I must admit,
I don't think anything
but
else has come out.
yeah, for me, some of you may or may not know, but I am a guitarist, and Rocksmith, say for me, has actually been quite a lifesaver for me over the whole sort of 18 months that's currently going on. Well, feels like a lot longer of the whole sort of COVID outbreak. I've only had one guitar teacher my whole life, and ever since the whole start of lockdown, I've not actually had a lesson at all. So for me, the thing I love about Rocksmith is I'm not using it as obviously a tuition tool because I've been playing for dare I nearly say 2/3 of my life. It's getting scary because the last time I had a birthday in between the last time I was on a Common Dense podcast and this one. But say being able to play songs that that either I haven't played for ages or thought I knew and stuff like that. So I'm using it more as a sort of like reassurance kind of thing, but also like enjoy playing along at the same time. And it's for me, it's kind of been a lifesaver. But I am interested to see what they're going to do with the subscription service.
Yeah.
And what it kind of means, because obviously, you've also got that whole interesting issue of I would happily stream it as long as it didn't break any of the guidelines. And I'm very questionable whether it would.
Yeah.
It probably would.
Probably
I
would.
Exactly.
Yeah, I attempted to live stream Rocksmith 2014 once, and my entire stream was muted live. So
Yeah, so there you go.
worthless.
Wasn't even worth it. I mean, Rocksmith Plus looks really interesting, and I actually think it's one of the few games I'm like, yeah, a live service. This kind of makes actual sense.
Yeah, I was going to say that's one of the few things that could really do with a subscription.
Yeah,
I
the
can
only
see it.
problem I've got with the entire thing is it requires a 100% online connection.
Oh, gross.
And
gross.
when I could just install Rocksmith and Rocksmith 2014 with their oodles and oodles and oodles licensed DLC music to play, a live service version doesn't really interest me all that much.
No.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I could also understand where they're coming from as well, because
it's a great idea.
Yeah, because in most cases, where you're going to play is in the comfort of your own home, where most of the time you are going to have some sort of internet connection. So, it's an interesting system, and I must admit I am curious for more details on that. And obviously, like I said, it's kind of me like in the background thinking I know how far I'd go if there was like a monthly subscription service. I know how far I would go.
Yeah.
Not willing to disclose for reasons.
Yeah. Sorry about the tech issues that we just had. Everyone had an issue with my transitions coming through suddenly.
But say like bearing in mind at the moment, so like I used to have guitar lessons every fortnight, and I've not had them for like 18 months. Yeah, obviously that kind of says to me I know kind of like how far I would realistically go just to get like a plethora of songs that I can learn to play or whatever. And sort of I enjoy the Rocksmith franchise. It's great fun. And it'd be interesting to see what they do with that. So that was kind of, for me, that was the only really thing that sort of like tickled my fancy metaphorically.
Yeah, Rocksmith was the game series that bridged the gap between feeling like a rock god while playing Guitar Hero and actually playing a guitar.
Yeah. It's nice to go on the two, so it's nice to see it back. Riders Republic. I wasn't really feeling it.
I don't remember that. I think I was asleep.
Yeah. Can't really argue with that one.
Was that the one that basically looked like, here's a bunch of extreme sports?
Extreme sports, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, just give me look. If you're gonna do a snowboarding game, give me a snowboarding game.
Ironically, there was a snowboarding game later in like one of the other conferences. If you weren't there, we were like, no, Lemming.
Give me my SSX game already.
We then, of course, got some announcement for DLC for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I'm actually pretty interested about. I actually want to pick up Valhalla now that I can play it properly. And so that's
I am definitely picking up that and Origins after I finish my Odyssey playthrough.
yeah, cool. I definitely want to get the new Assassin's Creed games on my PC if I can. Also, then got a trailer from The Werewolves Within, which is a Ubisoft movie.
Oh yeah, Oh, was it a movie? I thought it was part of the TV series.
Oh, well,
No, that was the film. Sorry,
it's a film.
my
Now,
mistake.
forgive me, but isn't E3 about gaming?
In fairness, Microsoft has been showing off their cars a lot.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
There's always been cars at some point, so.
All right. We got a trailer for Far Cry 6, which introduces Giancarlo Esposito, I think is his name. A great actor. The bad guy in the game.
The bad man.
Although
Like
the kind of the bomb that they dropped after that is the Far Cry 6 Season Pass, which has you playing as the villains of the previous Far Cry games in their own personal kind of Mindscape hell, I think. Which
Blood Dragon.
Yeah, it's a Blood Dragon style. Yeah, it's just about as silly as Blood Dragon.
Yeah, that alone has made me interested in the season pass.
Yeah, I'm done.
Exactly.
I'm sold. That's basically what I.
Yeah,
You bastards.
speaking of Far Cry, however, Far Cry 5 has been in the news this week.
Oh, has it?
Ow.
Yeah, a Far Cry 5 mod that has been in development since the game released has been firmly shut down by the studio.
Oh.
Was that the GoldenEye one?
Yes.
Yeah, the GoldenEye
He
one.
had point for point recreated the had been attempting to remake GoldenEye in Far Cry 5, and they've been
Why that?
thoroughly shut down now.
I can understand why.
Yeah.
Yeah, sad, but
Plus somebody's added a Greg's to Far Cry 5.
and someone's added a Greg to Far Cry 5 because why not? Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Mario Rabbids 2. Yeah, I'm in.
This is the first time I've actually been interested in a Mario Rabbids game. I'm gonna be real. I just like this looks really cool. I dig it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I should really get the original
I
one.
love the first, and yes, as Burr said, it's £7.50 on the eShop apparently right now, on the Nintendo
Nice.
eShop. The Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora video game.
I am actually interested in that. Those bastards actually got me interested in an Avatar game, kind of thing. It's just like I like this. I'm just a sucker for world building.
And from what
honestly.
we can tell, it seems to be like, yeah, you just play as the natives. There's no playing as the
God, I hope so.
things, which I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I want to play. I want to play as the cool shit. I don't want to play as a human. I'm sorry.
No one likes to play as a
But
human.
human
I'm already a
was all
human.
the cool shit. They had all the mechs. There's nothing
Yeah,
cooler
but
than
I'm
giant
not
robots.
interested in the mechs, Lemming. I want to ride one of those bird dragony things.
So that's the Ubisoft Forward.
Ubisoft Forward, kind of meh.
Yeah, meh. Let's move on to Devolver Digital.
Fucking like the best, always the best. Like they come
end of an
with
entertainment
every-
era with that fucking video they did.
Yeah, this. Oh god, Doctor wasn't there to watch it with us. It's one of those you had to be there.
You really did.
You
It was
really
so
did
good.
have to be there. That was just in fucking sane. Their whole like
Wizard with a gun.
Wizard with a gun, yeah. The whole like, oh yeah, and we've got this whole thing here at Devolver Digital. We've got this Max Pass, which comes with a subscription-free service, but it's a free subscription service where you can access the server, but you can buy add-on, which are games for our free subscription service. Me
so
completely memeing the whole idea of a subscription service, which I was
And
like,
a non-
yes,
And a non-fuckable with token.
an unfuckable with token, yes, and hot
Somebody
dogs.
bought that.
Someone
Yep.
bought that. Someone bought that. We got Shadow
Somebody
Warriors.
actually bought the VHS tape.
We got Shadow Warriors 3. Wizard with a gun, which we've
Oh
been
my god, yes.
talking about that for a long time. So is weird.
Oh yeah, we had Weird with us briefly. It was real fun, and I think everybody in our little group was just like wizard with a gun, wizard with a gun. Yes.
There's Death's Door, where you play as a bird trying to, I believe you have to try to stop yourself from dying, or you're trying to fight death or
Yes,
something.
you've stolen something from Death, and Death is not pleased with you doing that. So you gotta run for your
Was it Deadpool?
life, Death. No, it's a crow. I do
Uh,
actually have an article in one of my PC gamers, but that would require me getting up and having a look for it. So I'm not gonna do that.
There's Phantom Abyss, where you basically thrown into a procedurally generated temple and trying to run through and get to the end, but only one person will reach the end.
Yes, exactly. A friend of mine has actually been playing this since it's released, and yeah, it's exactly as it sounds. It's like every temple is different. You only get to run it once, and you're basically Indiana Jones. You got a whip.
It's old.
You double jump. It looks really, really fun.
Terra Nil, which you were very interested in, Shadow, I believe, looks really good.
It is really good, but it's mean. It's fucking mean.
Okay.
The demo is mean. Tell him, Burr. It was mean to us. It's just like you have to, because you've only got a set amount. Because you've got. It's one of those games where you have to plan where you put all your stuff.
Oh.
And it's just like, ah.
Well, you are dealing with the ecosystem, as we all know. Mother Earth is terrible.
Yeah, it's like, it's cruel and unforgiving. It makes you go mad.
There was then Trek to Yomi, a black and white side-scrolling samurai-inspired game, which looked really good. Really, definitely down Devolver's angle. That was the last thing that was announced. Really interesting. Definitely looking amazing. A bit sad, no Messenger 2, but yeah. All in all,
art takes time.
It makes me wish that Ghost of Tsushima came to PC.
Yeah, me too. And that was Devolver Digital. And you might say, there wasn't really a lot. And it's like, well, no. But thing is, what they had was substantial and good. And also, they didn't piss about. I mean, they pissed about, but in a fun way. You know, unlike other people just pissing about. Like, well, we'll get to Gearbox.
We'll get to them.
They gave us entertainment, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to be entertained and told what they would be releasing, and they did.
Yeah, they did. They did.
With
they actually
copious amounts of memes.
Yeah, and they actually gave like plenty of time for the games that they had as well.
And chili dogs.
Moving from a really exciting stream and a lot of stuff to perhaps the most dullest stream I'd seen in a long time for E3. Gearbox Entertainment.
I have notes here, and
I think I died at some point during that stream.
Literally nothing. Nothing.
I think I died at some point in that stream, and I just entered limbo at some point, and because I just don't know. It's crazy, but yeah. So what was revealed in that? Pretty much,
there was that Tiny Tina thing, like the Borderlands, like, but in fantasy kind of thing.
Well, let's be fair. They did get to that, but also they announced they toured the set of the Borderlands movie for 15 agonizing minutes. Fucking hell.
We get it. You're making a movie.
I felt so sorry for Weird because he was just like, we should go watch it, and then it was just that, and he felt so bad. I was just like, oh. Godfall
coming to PS4, and Darkness DLC announced. Great. Godfall, terrible.
Who gives
a fuck?
I'm sorry, fans, but we don't.
That game fell on its face the first time it released.
Homeworld. Yeah. Oh, and also, did you know that Homeworld 3 was in production?
No, I didn't realize that Homeworld 3 was into production. Did you know that Homeworld 3 was in production?
I had no idea. I just thought they were showing us videos of the first two Homeworld games.
Oh yeah, that too. Why did they do that?
You've already remastered and re-released the first two fucking games. Why did you have to show us them in an effort to say, new game incoming? Why can't you just said, you know Homeworld exists, here's a new one?
Yeah.
And like I was saying, but it wasn't weird. It wasn't Weird's fault. It was Randy's. But like, I felt so sorry for Weird.
just pull my hair out. Why talk 3 times in 3 little tiny segments about, oh yeah, Homeworld 3 remaster is coming? It's like, shut the fuck up. We know. You've mentioned it once.
Yeah, well, the thing is, most of that was like, do you remember how good like the original Homeworlds were? But make it a third one. Just put them all together in one chunk and do it, and then just go
Yeah,
away.
just
Go
have the
away.
Homeworld chunk and leave us alone.
It was basically them saying, "Hey, look, we're making Homeworld 3. Isn't that good? We're patting ourselves on the back because we're making
Well
Homeworld
done,
3."
well done.
Yeah,
To be honest, ironically, I really wish they hadn't actually said that.
Yeah.
Like, don't even tell me that Homeworld 3 is in production. Show me
Drop-
Homeworld
yeah.
3 when you have shit to show me.
yeah. But yeah, the highlight was one Tiny Tina's Wonderlands introduced, which
Yeah.
is basically a Borderlands game, but set in the. It is basically taking the Tiny Tina DLC from Borderlands 2, the one where you play with bunkers and badasses, that kind of thing, Dungeons and Dragons style, the kind of the fantasy-esque version of it, and making an entire game out of that concept, which is a brilliant thing.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Why Ubisoft can't do that for Far Cry Blood Dragon, I don't know, but
With Ubisoft in it.
yeah. And of course,
they can only afford so much Michael Bain.
of course, yeah. So yeah, that was fun.
Then it was the VR showcase.
Yes, the VR showcase, which I think you stuck around for that, didn't you? In the end, Shadow.
I did, but a lot of it didn't interest me, so I probably fell asleep. I didn't fall asleep, but I should have. Probably.
Yeah. There wasn't.
The lights were on, but no one was home.
Yeah, Sniper Elite looked good, but then it's like it's Sniper Elite, so of course it's going to be good. I expect you to die too.
Sniper Elite are going to get it again.
I expect you to die too. Like the idea of the first one. I'm definitely on board for the second one. There was the Fract, which apparently is a PSVR exclusive, and this is a common theme, which you'll notice throughout the entire thing for that. A lot of the cool games that a lot of us were interested in were like, oh, PSVR exclusive, which is good for me, but not good for my friends.
Yeah, because I remember we'd getting like real excited, and then as soon as it came up, we were just like, oh.
Yeah, I think it was something like, but I look through the list here. There's just not a lot. There's Blastin' Demo, there's Traffic Jams, Sam Max this time it's virtual, which looks weird. It looks more like an escape room than a point and click game.
I mean, what are point and click adventure games
If not
3D,
escape rooms?
If not escape rooms.
Good point. Actually, yeah, completely point. There is a Nerf game coming.
We need to do it. We need to do another one of those, Elliot.
Yes, we do. Nerf this. Nerf Ultimate Championship World Premiere. A Nerf game where you play with Nerf guns.
Now that actually sounds real fun.
That sounds like,
Got me
yes,
on board.
as long as the guns actually shoot natural Nerfs, I am on board.
Yeah, and you have to scrabble around on the floor to pick up your ammo.
That won't be what they'll do, but
Yes.
I want that.
Just imagine if you're playing in the living room and it looks like you're searching in the fireplace. What are you doing? I'm picking up a Nerf gun bullet. It's got on the coffee table again.
So yeah, the VR showcase had a lot of kind of highlights, but nothing really memorable from my perspective. I mean, that stands out, but because it's Nerf. But yeah, nothing really else. But let's move because we need to kind of press on. Xbox and Bethesda, because they are
Started like to be honest, like 90% of that conference was really good because they were basically like, hey,
Game.
you want games?
game.
Let's give you games. Bam,
Game.
bam, 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 bam. And then at the end, they kind of like they slowed down. It was just like, let's talk about Forza Horizon 5 for a little bit. It was just like, no, you were doing so well.
Yep.
But most like I see a lot of people shitting on that and on that conference, and I was like, actually, they did pretty well. They did pretty well.
They did very well and stumbled a bit at the end. That's it. The first half of the conference was stellar.
If only we knew what to expect later on in the day, but we'll get there.
We'll get there. So of course we've got Forza Horizon, cars, racing, and such.
Yeah.
I got a whole load of like games on my list from this that I'm really interested in.
Halo Infinite, free to play, multiplayer game.
Yeah, I know James is into that.
There's Redfall.
Oh no, sorry.
I'm looking forward to Halo, if only to find out what the fuck happens.
There's Redfall, which apparently is a new co-op open world first-person shooter from Arcane Austin, where they basically it's involving vampires.
That was like I was gonna say Ghost Hunter, but it's vampires, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks
It's
Yeah,
it's Left 4 Dead with vampires with an Overwatch aesthetic.
yeah. Something like I want to like it. Like there's bits of it that I look at it and I'm like I kind of like that, but I don't know. Did the vibe to anybody else feel like really suspect or something? Like they were trying to
It
stretch
felt
skin of
weird.
something over the top of Overwatch. Like
Yes, I did get that
it,
feeling.
yeah, it didn't feel right. Like it hadn't got its own identity, and that's I don't know.
Yeah, because ever since Overwatch was the biggest game in the world for a while, and then
Oh yeah, we're
friggin-
seeing that effect, aren't we?
and then that same cartoony style aesthetic was thrown into Fortnite Battle Royale, which is now the biggest free-to-play game in the world. This is happening. This aesthetic is now a thing. More companies are trying to imitate this aesthetic for their own means.
They're mimicking
Mm.
it, but
Was
not knowing.
Was there anything in the conference that stood out to you, Doctor? Because I know you weren't there for the stream, but looking through, was there anything that kind of appeals to you?
I'm going to be honest. I am blind to most of this stuff. I must admit, I haven't looked through most of the stuff. I mean, I remember some of the stuff that came up, but this kind of bit is kind of a bit on the unknown side. Like I said, for me, the real big highlight of all the stuff was the Rocksmith stuff. So
That's fair.
Mhm.
Starfield, the new IP from Bethesda Studios, apart from Fallout and of course Elder Scrolls, arrives 11/11/2022, Xbox exclusive.
No.
Also, for all of my survival fans out there, all the survival fans out in the world, Stalker 2.
Stalker 2,
Almost forgot about Stalker 2.
Age of Empires,
That's coming.
Age of Empires 4 launching October 28th.
Yo,
Extreme
I'm
hype.
down for that. Yeah, I think you and I, Lemming, are planning to do something together for Age of Empires 4. I'm down
Totally,
for
yeah.
that.
And another thing about Stalker 2 is it'll be on Game Pass from day one.
Yep. That's what a lot of this talk about. A lot of Game Pass stuff. Microsoft Flight Simulator arrives on consoles and Game Pass July 27th.
Yeah, and that has like a military jet like DLC.
Yeah.
That appeals to somebody here, and I wonder who that could be.
Someone.
Can't possibly be the person here who's actually flown in military aircraft.
There's the Left 4 Dead ripoff Back for Blood. Hades, Among Us, and Yakuza all joining Game Pass, which is some great things. Psychonauts 2.
dang it, the more reasons for me to play Hades. I was trying to escape playing Hades for as long as I could.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, now it's on Game Pass now. Weird, it's not going to leave me alone.
No.
Psychonauts 2 launching on August 25th, 2021.
Finally got a release date for that. Nice. It's looking good.
Grounded gets an update. Outer Worlds 2 announced.
Yeah. Weird lost
his shit with that.
In that stream, like loads of people were losing their shit like one at a time. Like as soon as me and Lemming saw Age of Empires 4, it's just like, yo!
Yes!
And then Weird did that for Outer Worlds 2. Just amazing.
Yeah, I have to admit I'm playing Outer Worlds on my PlayStation 4, which I'm thinking I'm not too far into it, so I'm thinking like maybe I should get it on PC and I can mod it and such. But yeah, I might have to pick up the Outer Worlds 2 as well. The one thing I actually was interested in is Pirates of the Caribbean arriving into Sea of Thieves. No one can see it coming, but apparently it's happening.
But when you look at it, it's just like, and now you look at it like, well, of course.
Of course. Yes.
It's only logical.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes complete sense.
And I must admit, it's actually tempting me to get Sea of Thieves.
I have to admit, I signed back up to Game Pass just to get the Sea of Thieves. Although now I've got the summer sale, I might actually just buy Sea of Thieves. And just like, fuck that. After 4 months, I would have paid for it anyway. Fuck that. I'll just buy it.
I'm gonna treat myself.
Yeah, I might actually do that. Actually, thinking I was half joking, but now I think about it.
Oh, no.
See, this is what you start to learn about Ebac's mind. I've been on quite a lot of these purchasing conversations, and it normally ends up with Ebac walking out of our gaming store with the product that he said he was thinking about getting in about 2 or 3 weeks' time, by the time we were leaving the store.
You know how people
That
have,
happens a lot.
you know how people have a moment where they're like, where they say, "I'm thinking about buying something," and they have time thinking about it. I tend to skip that middle section, just to leap right to the buying. Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76 get some updates. Woo! Yeah, I'm terribly sorry. I can't get hype. That's certainly an update, but
Yeah.
And now the underdog, literally, party game that's coming out that was
Oh
described.
yes!
Party Animals!
Party animals!
Party Animals.
I can't wait to see that on like
I love the craziness
Friday
of games like
Fun
Gang Beasts and being
Yeah.
able to do Gang Beast style silliness with
There was
animal
a mafia
costumes.
cat. I swear to God.
Yeah, I swear I saw that as well. It just
Yep.
fits.
and,
Yeah, go on.
and there were some other little things like Slime Ranchers 2. I saw, I was just like, I've never played the first Slime Ranchers game, but I was looking at that thinking, kind of thing. And
I
also,
meant to get
Maybe.
the first Slime Ranchers. It was incredibly cute and looked fun from what I'd seen.
Yes, Doctor?
And a sequel is well deserved.
yes.
You were saying, Doctor?
No, I was just chipping in with the whole sort of like, I love the whole sort of Gang Beast thing. I've seen quite a few videos from several years ago. I don't remember how many laughs were had when I was watching those kind of videos. So, if it's in that same kind of like sort of space, I can see where the appeal is going to be for that.
Definitely looks it. And also there was Atomic Heart, which was, there was some weird fucking shit going on in that trailer, but I'm down for it. I'm fucking down for it. And then there was some JRPG shit. Are you Den Chronicles sort of thing? There was two types. There was two different games. One was coming before the other one, and I was just like, okay, sure, whatever. JRP, whatever me up. Like, I'll take some anime bullshit.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Now we move on.
Anime bullshit!
We move on to the one that kind of annoyed, I think, the most of us when we were watching it live. Square Enix, also known as Marvel Entertainment Games Division.
Hey, did you know that they're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy like video game? Did you know that, ABAC?
Did I know? They spent 15 fucking minutes talking about the damn thing. You know, don't get me wrong. I love Marvel. I adore Marvel. I love the comics. As Doctor will appreciate, I'm a big Marvel fan. Avengers was disappointing as a game. It really needed more. They tried to push it as a service game. It was never going to work out well that way. Guardians looks nice. I don't think it would deserve 15 minutes. And the frame dropped in the middle of the fucking stream. That's not a good look. You know.
That was a big oof. That was the biggest. That was a big oof moment. Like, ooh.
Ooh. The idea of you having to make decisions and the team remembering that decision and things like that, I like that. The whole telltale aspect of it looks good. It looks very generic in terms of the rest of it, but look, someone said it to me. What did they say? Scarf said it to me. I'm pretty sure Scarf said it. Guardians and Marvel Avengers looks like gaming by the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what it looks like.
Yeah, I'd
You mean trying to look for sales in a market where there isn't necessarily sales in a market?
It's basically just like, oh yeah, it's just a beta. It's basically doing basic nothing. It's not innovating. It's not doing anything interesting. It's just doing, this is what people expect and like. Let's just do that, and people are like that.
It's generic sort of. It's like a Hollywood blockbuster, but a game kind of thing. It's just like they're putting all the tropes and the things together. Just like we must have a protagonist, and we must have a romantic interest, and we must do a thing, and a thing.
Yeah,
etc., etc., etc.
So yeah, that was 20 minutes of the conference. How long was the conference?
I don't know. It felt like an eternity.
Yeah, it did feel like an eternity. I think it was at least half the conference.
Yeah. And hey, guess what? Like, we had that and we had something else that I don't remember very much. There was Life was Strange.
They did talk about Life is Strange, and I will
They did talk about Life is Strange, yeah.
I will say that looked really good. I'm all over the remastered one, and I like the look at the new color one that they're doing.
True Colors,
True Colors, yes.
That's the first one that I was looking at and thinking, actually, I might pick this game up, kind of thing. So there was those, and then there was like a Final Fantasy rip-off game thing. Mm.
And then they had like a rapid fire shot of multiple games, one of
Oh, yeah.
which was Forsaken.
Which
saw-
was really good.
We saw 3 seconds of it, and we were raptured by it. We're like, "What's that?" We want to no, go fuck back, go the fuck back. You know,
We were literally yelling that. Go back, go back.
3 seconds of what looked to be an amazing game, and it's like we saw nothing of it. It's like, what? What the fuck, Ubi? What the fuck? That's not Ubisoft. What the fuck,
The
Square
most
Enix?
interesting game in your entire fucking thing, and you give us 3 seconds of nothing.
Yeah, there was that game. There was that game. What was it? It was that trailer, that really weird trailer about the space thing. Like we were watching a space launch. I managed to find that on Steam again. That popped up.
Babylon's Fall.
Yeah, and actually, it's something to. It's like like you are like managing a space station. You're trying to keep it like afloat, like you're trying to keep trading and everything powered and everybody working and stuff like that. And like I got more information from looking at it on my Steam discovery queue than I did from that entire fucking trailer.
Oh
I'm just
damn!
gonna point that out. It was more. I was looking at it on Steam. I was thinking, that's not my kind of cup of tea, but it actually sounds interesting. But like the trailer, the trailer, like I had no fucking idea what was going on at all. I was just like, I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care.
It was okay. So the conference was 45 minutes long, and Guardians of the Galaxy took out 20 minutes of it. And that wasn't all that they talked about in terms of Marvel Avengers. Then we talked about the content roundup for about 5 minutes and the expansion for Black Panther. Like fucking hell, just leave it be.
Yeah, and then they went round again, if I remember correctly. And I just said, no, go away with this.
Yeah, overall, while I say Gearbox was the dullest, Square Enix was one that made me the most frustrated.
Oh yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it genuinely made me upset at one point. Just that it wouldn't have like the bar was already low, but then they just dug underneath it and tunneled all the way to the core. And it's just like, oh no, they didn't tunnel all the way to the core. Somebody else did that later in the evening. But I was just like, no. I think it would hurt less if it hadn't been for like seeing it was either called Forsaken or Forspoken. But just seeing those couple of seconds of that game, of a really interesting game, and then it was just like, nah, we're not gonna even look at it, sort of thing. It's like, no.
We did watch the PC gaming showcase, which was next. I be honest, I remember nothing from that.
Oh,
I remember being very upset and angry a lot.
yeah, no, that was no. I don't blame you because I ran like through the stream to try and make notes for this, and I've literally just got like stuff that was in other things. I think
There's Mech Warrior, Hello Neighbor
no, I haven't
2,
even written it down.
Jurassic World Evolution.
Oh yeah, Jurassic World Evolution 2 that I'm actually interested in. I dig that. Hopefully it doesn't repeat the same mistakes that the first one did. Like have a sandbox at the fucking start of your game, please.
They kept on fucking going to space and then being on the ground and
yeah. I mean I totally understand that they don't have the big budget behind them like the other conferences do, so they have to put sponsors in. But my fucking god,
sponsored by Mech Warrior.
Yeah, which is a
I
shame.
have Mech Warrior. It's a fun game, but you spent a year with it off of Steam.
And
yeah.
the thing that got me was like there was some stuff that I was interested in, like humankind, and I was like, oh cool, it's the humankind thing. I wonder what they're gonna say. And it's just basically like, hey, there's this person that's in the game now, and she's an avatar. Yeah, you can play as her if you enable Twitch loot drops and you get into the closed beta. Yay. I was just like, I don't care. Tell me about the game. Like, no.
Yeah, there just wasn't anything in it for me.
Yeah, there wasn't.
To the point where I'm going through the list, I'm like, I really can't be asked to tell you guys about all this because there's to be fair, they had a lot of games. But there was also a lot of like, none of this really looks interesting at all. It looks like it's kind of like the everything else kind of stream.
Yeah, it didn't feel like many. It didn't feel like many announcements aside from like Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Yeah, they always run. Orcs Must Die.
Orcs Must Die 3. Actually, fair enough. But do you remember like much outside of that? Because I sure don't.
I don't. Looking through these, I'm like,
I mean,
wait.
there was a Warhammer 40k game, but there's loads of those coming out right now, and I think this one's just a DLC.
Whoop-de-doo. I've now made an enemy of the Warhammer community. That's fine. I can live with
Yeah.
that.
No, I am the Warhammer community representative here. And
Okay,
I give
good.
you a pass on this one.
Yeah.
Chernobyl Lights.
The only thing I remember with like shocking clarity about the PC Gaming Expo was one, how angry it made me, and two, how much Evac started to slowly lose his fucking mind over the street. It's just like, if they're on the
I think at one point I said, if they're on the fucking space
Yeah.
station again, I'm gonna lose my fucking shit.
They were just like, ah!
Now,
The one
I
thing
know what I was doing, but I wish I was here to see that.
That was so
The
funny.
one thing I wanted to see in the PC gaming showcase wasn't there, and that's Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide.
Oh,
Because I've been hyped for that since the first trailer came up, and they haven't said a damn thing since.
oh.
Just like, this is basically going to be. Have any of you experienced Vermintide?
I know of it, but
The
I
Warhammer fantasy game. It's basically like Left 4 Dead, but in Warhammer.
Yes,
With classes.
lots and lots of
so you pick
rats.
what class you are and what you know. You're not just generic individual. You actually are a Warhammer class. So you can be an elf, you can be a human, you know, all that stuff. Well, this is basically that, but set in 40k. So the 41st millennium, and you have the different characters. So one of them's a guardsman, one of them's an inquisitor. You have an Ogren, which is basically a 40k ogre with a giant shotgun that you can beat people to death with, because Ogrens generally do that. It looks really cool, and it wasn't mentioned at E3.
Oh,
I hate
The
it like
best
that.
40k game, what's looking like the best 40k game coming out anytime soon, that isn't the one that's already out. Not mentioned. What are you doing? Get the hype train going. This game's supposed to come out this year.
Let's move on from that. And the last kind of to the last thing that we saw. So this wasn't all the conferences, but we're just going over the ones that we saw. And perhaps I think the best one out of them all.
I still think Devolver Digital.
Okay,
Pictures
yeah.
for me,
If we
but
discount
that's
Devolver, then yeah, the best one out of them all. If we discount Devolver, the second best.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yes.
I didn't expect Nintendo to actually just hit a home run, but god damn did they hit one hell of a home run. So we can pretty much touch on everything in the stream because everything was pretty much good. The first announcement, new Smash character, Kazuya Mashima from Tekken. Yeah, well then, that escalated quickly.
That's kind of a character that's going to wipe the floor with everyone.
I mean, it makes sense. You've got Ryu and Ken. You've got Terry Bogard from King of Fighters. You know, so yeah, of course, let's have Kazuya from Tekken. No, why not?
Yeah, why not?
It's a great addition to the lineup.
There is the announcement, of course, that Life is Strange and Life is Strange True Colors is coming to Switch. Great. That is fantastic. Two great series on the console. And Guardians of the Galaxy coming on the Switch. Some Worm stuff.
Guardians of the Who now?
Yeah. There's some Worm stuff and some... Generally, they kind of did rapid fire, game. That's it. They didn't piss about. Just game. Yeah,
it was pretty much like the Microsoft and Bethesda conference. Like, but then again, to be honest, those guys are copying. Well, they did that last year as well. To be fair, like to the two. So like, Microsoft and Nintendo have got it down. Just like, don't talk, show.
Don't talk, show. Let the games do the talking. There's an interesting game called an RPG game called Dear Villagers coming, which not my thing, but it looks like an interesting Japanese anime side-scrolling kind of game with some real-time combat. 2 Point Campus coming to Switch as well, which it was nice to see more 2 Point Campus since I didn't realize that was a thing until the conference. So yeah,
I think that's new, isn't it? That's a new spin-off from the 2 Point Hospital.
Yeah, it's managing university pretty much. And we're getting Super Monkey Ball 20th Anniversary Collection.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Completely unexpectedly. Yeah, Super Monkey Ball. Just Super Monkey Ball. It's like, well, okay,
That's
thanks.
certainly a thing. That's certainly a thing that happened.
I'll be honest, when I
That's
mentioned
definitely news.
Sega was coming up and I was mentioned 20th anniversary, I'm thinking, surely you mean the 30th? Oh, okay. There was a little bit of that, but yeah. Mario Party getting yeah.
I was going to say the only stumble in the entire Nintendo event was Just Dance.
Yes. Because it's just dancing.
Yeah, it's Just Dance. Yay. Moving on.
Mario Party getting a special release of well-known games from across the entire series, released as a standalone Mario Party Superstars with online play.
Sounds good to me.
Online playing a Nintendo game? Say it ain't so.
They finally caught up. Nintendo have finally hit that button. We're in the modern times now. No, that comes
Heavy
next.
breathing.
The heavy breathing comes next from me.
hmm
Because, of course, I was streaming the Super Metroid yesterday. For all of you that didn't know, I found the series last year and loved it. Metroid 5, otherwise known as Metroid Dread, announced 15 fucking years, and we finally get a Metroid game. A new Metroid game. That's not a remake of another Metroid game.
I would have been 12 years old.
Thank
Be
you.
careful when you start aging.
Thank you, Nintendo. That's all I'm going to say about that one. Thank you. I'm done. You know, that to me is like, I'm out here. I've got everything I need. And then we move into
Also, the more horror elements of it, like
Yeah.
that is the best. That is the best way to take Metroid, in my opinion. Just like yes, I still kind of want like you to port Metroid Prime onto something else.
Yes, please do.
Content.
I'd like to play. I'd love to play the Metroid Prime series. We got some Just Dance. Then it was, I think, Trackmania. No, Raw Thrills Inc. producing Cruisin' and Blast, which is a kind of an arcade racing game, which also includes unicorns for some reason.
Everything includes unicorns these days.
The Ultimate
Why
Dragon.
not?
The port of Dragon Ball Z. What is it?
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot.
Kakarot. I said Z intentionally to annoy people.
Brrr. No, Kakarot. The main character, Goku, his Saiyan name is Kakarot.
So yeah. They then talked about Mario, Mario Golf Super Rush, which I thought was weird,
Yeah.
given that it was literally within the month of its release.
Well, I guess they want to get people hyped for it, and it's fair.
To be fair, we hadn't really seen a lot about the game, so makes sense. It just seems a bit weird to only be getting these details literally in the month of release.
Yeah, I think Nintendo's done that before, though. It's very It's very strange.
Yeah, it's just like it felt like
Very strange,
quick,
slightly dodgy.
quick, we need 5 minutes, fill time. That's what it did feel like to me a little bit. Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin coming to Switch.
I'm actually interested in that.
That's why.
Except, but if I can't choose my character's gender, I'm out again because that's becoming a thing for me now. It's just like, please let me choose my gender. If there's not a reason to do that, I'm out. I'm sorry. I'm very very picky now. Don't ask questions.
The king of minigames returns as Wario. Wah!
See?
As WarioWare Get It Together launches in September 10th, on September
That's
10th,
what a lot of people have
2021.
told me in my adult years. Get it together, Shadow, and I still haven't.
Wah!
Yeah.
That's my response to them. Get it together, Russ!
No,
Don't make me get it together.
it'll be my first WarioWare game I know of the series, even from someone as a casual fan. It's like, yeah, I want to get that. WarioWare, great. What? That game's not had a game since DS?
A long time. I think the last time was it must have been the Wii or the Wii U, because I remember they were Shake It. But was that might have been a Wario Land game? I can't remember. It's been a very very long time, basically.
Then there was Shin Megami Tensei 5 announced as well for Switch.
That is
Yes.
Lemming's wheelhouse.
Please
To
go
a
ahead.
point, I haven't played any of the actual games, but a new Shin Megami Tensei game, which is a sprawling, vast series at this point, featuring many different series and side series, to the point where I think Catherine was a side game of the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Really?
Really, that Catherine?
Catherine?
Yeah, that Catherine.
Wow.
The fuck? And I
It's
thought
awful.
Kingdom Hearts was complicated.
Yeah, it's whack. The only anime related game series that is more convoluted than these is the Fate Stay series. Because nobody knows where to start with that damn thing. But yeah, it's an anime roleplay game where you go between worlds. Other than that, I have no idea.
Fair enough. It seems to me it was the anime bullshit segment because Danganronpa
I mean,
was next.
yep, Danganronpa, all 4 of the original games in one package.
And a new game, which was Decadence?
Yes.
Yeah, launching as
Danganronpa
well.
Decadence.
Yeah.
So the entire pack, I believe it's an entire package, is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc Anniversary Edition, Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair Anniversary Edition, Danganronpa Volume 3 Killing Harmony Anniversary Edition, and Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp, plus Danganronpa Decadence.
Nice.
Okay.
Like, if you like sorrow and just pain, this is the game for you.
There was then Project Zero, Maiden of Blackwater, which is the photo game. You Fatal Frames, wasn't it?
Fatal Frame.
Yeah,
Yes.
Fatal Frame game. They very much Fatal Frame, but
So, like, I'm sorry, but that's one of the few times that the Americanization of it, Fatal Frame, is so much better than the Japanese name. I'm sorry, Project Zero. Fuck off. Fatal Frame is so much.
Doom Eternal.
Yep, catching up to the PC release.
Yeah, on Switch.
And that the DLC is actually coming out.
Along with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, as well, and Strange Brigade. A lot of kind of good games coming to Switch, which is good. And of course,
Yep.
a reminder, Mario Rabbids 2, Sparks of Hope, coming as well, which again looks really good. And then
the entire thing was capped off.
No, not capped off. It was turned on its head by the announcement of Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp.
Yes!
Oh.
Advance Wars! We haven't had an Advance Wars in years.
Yeah, it's been ages since we've actually had an Advance Wars. It makes me want to actually plug Advance Wars into my 3DS over there, the one I actually have, and play it.
Let me just see, when was the last time we had an Advance Wars game?
I need a Switch!
A long time ago.
I need a Nintendo Switch, damn it.
They then quickly touched in DLC for Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, and then they were a bit coy and be like, okay, yeah, we're going to show you some Skyward Sword stuff of HD, which is coming out on July 16, 2021. They then released the Game & Watch for the original Legend of Zelda, which unusual, but fair enough. Nice little collector's item. But they did have the and one more thing, which of course they revealed more content, gameplay footage this time of Breath of the Wild 2, which I called it from the start. I called it from the start that they were going to show that at the end, and they did. I can't wait. So excited. Yeah.
Hey, do you know when the last Advance Wars game was released in
Go on.
in the EU? 2008.
Damn. 13 years ago. Well, that pretty much wraps up our kind of overview of what we saw in the announcements. I thought it did a good job. Let's talk to. I know you can't really comment too much about it because you're not really part of the kind of gamer ecosystem, as it were. What do you think as an outsider looking in on these things? I mean, you definitely liked Rocksmith or
Rocksmith.
Yeah, I think definitely say I know personally. I think say probably next year I probably would definitely like to try and get a bit more on this sort of kind of side of things, because the last time I actually properly saw anything conventionally wise was, I think I went to
Eurogamer.
Comic-Con I went to Comic-Con about 4 or 5 years ago, and I remember them doing a Team 17 sort of thing, which obviously is directed at Worms. And so I think it'd definitely be interesting to actually watch it kind of live rather than sort of seeing things as an afterthought. I can't remember exactly what I was doing that weekend. I know something obviously had come up, so obviously that's why I wasn't, why I wasn't around to join everyone on that. But it's kind of interesting. So like you're saying there about like different tags people have made, different companies have made with either announcing things, trying to give things a bit of hype, last minute release, announcing things without very little information, and stuff like that. So it's interesting to see how each company takes like different tacks, the same kind of idea. Probably from what came out there, for me, there probably, as I said, probably isn't very much in that I would have taken a natural interest in. But I think it would be it would be interesting to see some of that stuff live. You're saying like with some of the games, the way like the heat just sort of suddenly dropped, or a curveball thrown in there for good measure and stuff like that, and seeing it all literally unfold.
It is definitely interesting seeing it. I've always loved E3, and it did feel like this year a little bit. It's like a bit like I don't really feel it this year. For some reason, it just feels like E3's become less exciting. But I don't think it's anything to do with me. It's no, E3 is the thing that's wrong, not me. Shadow, what's your thoughts on E3?
I think E3's importance is being slowly, well, I say slowly, it's been being eroded for a very long time, ever since like the Penny Arcade Expos. Not like no criticism to those guys, but a lot of announcements are starting to happen in other places rather than E3. And then as soon as we started to move to more digital conferences and stuff like that, everybody just started to splinter away from E3. And I think, I mean, I still consider it as like the big thing on the video gaming calendar, but it just doesn't feel like that anymore. And at some point, it will just, I don't know if it'll ever go away, but it will just fall into another announcement cycle kind of thing.
No, I completely agree. I think it'll just become another thing that happens along with all the other things that happen.
Yeah, it'll just be a recap, a big event to recap all the stuff that's going to come out soon, and because publishers and indie developers and everybody who's releasing games now has discovered, wait, we have many other avenues that don't involve us sending actual people to an actual place to tell people about stuff. We can record a video in our office, put it on the internet, and people who like our stuff will share it.
Exactly.
And it'll get around, and we can have a Twitch live stream at any time we want rather than on somebody else's schedule.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And oh, sorry, go on, Eba.
No, please go on.
I was gonna say, like, even though I wasn't like super hyped for E3, like I wasn't hyped for E3 because of the games, because I had literally no expectations going into E3. I was basically just like, just give me what you guys have got. I mean, there's some games that I'm looking forward to more announcements for, but literally just like, what have you guys got? Give me it. Like, I was more excited because I was watching the conferences with you guys. Like, that was the most fun about it, because we were just snarking and laughing and yelling loudly at the thing. I mean, that's what made it for me rather than the video games, which is arguable. It's arguable whether that's a good thing or not.
It's annoying because we were planning to stream it, but unfortunately, due to me getting my new computer not being prepared for that, it means that we couldn't. But next year, definitely, we'll find a way to stream it without copyright getting in the way. Trust me, I've got my plan for that. But yeah,
so little ways.
yeah, I think that kind of brings our episode to a close, really.
With one little extra piece of news that is breaking news, everyone.
Oh, Jesus, what?
Hasbro have announced a series of commemorative Transformer toys collaborating with Jurassic Park.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, they're releasing. I've put them in the comments chat.
Oh dear.
You have a Transformer of for a start, the T-Rex.
Holy! You can actually say, "Holy fucking shit! It's a dinosaur!" Jesus Christ! What the fuck?
Well,
Yeah, that is definitely a thing. You can also the classic Jurassic Park. What
Jeep.
even was it? Jeep. Yeah. I don't think it's
Yes.
actually Jeep branded, but the Jurassic
It's
Park
the
Jeep
style of it. It's style of
Transporter.
it.
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough. Right, well, that's pretty much going to be when it ends. Oh, one thing I want to mention, which I didn't mention as well, is also Lego's doing a Pride set, which I think is also very good of them.
Oh, that's so good. I saw all the
Nice.
salt from a certain section of political people. I was just like, ha 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 ha, supper.
Oh,
We can't do that. Yes, we
I've
can.
I've got
Shut the fuck up.
I've got food on the way, Shadow. Please, I like some salt to push over. Can you please shove that my way after we're done here, please?
I can't remember where it all was, but
But no, thank you all for joining us. Next time we do the Commandant's podcast, we'll be back to normal schedule of talking about topics, which we'll kind of examine a topic to discuss next time. It'll be Bird joining us on the channel. I want to thank Doctor for joining
he's
us this
Burr.
time.
Yeah.
He is Bird, yeah, he's in the chat. I want to thank Doctor for joining us for this episode. He'll be back not in July's episode, but in coming in August episode.
Oh no.
And of course, my regular people who join me on the show, my fellow host Lemming and my fellow host Shadow.
Hello.
No Apollo Justice stream for me tomorrow, although are you doing anything, gentlemen?
Not this week because I'm going to London for 3 days.
All
Hooray!
right, you're off to London. You Doctor.
I am planning, I think, to do something on Friday. I've been suffering badly with hay fever
Oh,
the last few weeks, so it's taken a lot
Ooh.
out of me. So I will probably be more than likely doing some more Assassin's Creed. Say more than likely on Friday. And see how much further I can get with that, because I'm kind of looking at how many game hours I've had on it. It's now the equivalent of 3 days. Damn it!
yeah, I noticed that game hours
And
can creep
and
up.
I haven't touched the DLC yet.
Nope. Fair enough. I will be not streaming tomorrow. There's no Apollo Justice stream. I'll be playing some games with my friends. On Thursday, there's no stream for me, as always. Friday, I'm on Weird FW's channel again, playing Mario Golf Super Rush with the guys. If there is a stream immediately afterwards, depends. We might go on till late in the night, in which case there'll be no stream for me, or just be me on there for the entirety of the night. I'll be doing something a little bit different on Saturday from 8 p.m. until midnight. You can join me for the Mega Drive stream, which I'll be playing an assortment of Mega Drive games, also known as Sega Genesis games, for the entire evening. It's going to be a retro-tastic time. And this is a Game
Do we
Blast
have any
reward.
examples?
Well, I'll just be playing Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a classic. So, of course, I'll be playing probably Sonic 2, if I'm honest. Probably going to be Castlevania Bloodlines in there as well. The only Castlevania game on the Sega Mega Drive. So yeah, there's going to be a collection of all sorts, and probably some Rystar as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and that'll be what I'll be playing throughout the evening. I'll be just swapping games. It'll be 3 to 4 hour streams, so finishing 11 o'clock or midnight. But yeah, join me for that. And of course, Weirdlands will return on Monday. And if I'm streaming afterwards, I'll probably be doing... I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'll figure something out for that evening. Probably some Evil Genius. All right.
Yeah. Hey, can I know I don't stream, but can I just plug something?
Go on.
On Thursday, I don't know what time we're doing it at the moment, but me and Burr have decided that we love It Takes Two so much, and we love the part that we're hungry for more. So we're gonna be streaming It Takes Two on Thursday. I think it's like at 5:30.
5:30 p.m.
5:30 p.m. British Standard Time. That will be 6:30 p.m. Central European Time. Go and watch us. Maybe we'll actually get these two knuckleheads together.
Go watch it. I want to thank you all for joining me here tonight. Hit the Scratch Post with Scratch the Gaming Itch. That's been Shadow. That's been Doctor. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
See ya.
Good night.